All right. The results are in. The results are in from the funnel. We got the first couple sales rolling in. And I'll be honest with you guys, we actually made sales on the very first day we set it live. That was pretty cool. I sometimes will set things live, or we have set things live, and they just don't produce sales on the first day. We made sales on the first day. I'm not going to tell you all the results, but we did. And the data is telling us that we're probably going to need to make some changes, but I'm waiting for some more results to come in. But what I'm going to do in this episode is break down what those results are, what the data is showing me, why I think those results are happening, and what we're going to be doing moving forward. So if you want to hear how our journey of creating the funnel is going, and remember, I did this all on my own. Like, I know that may not seem like a big deal to you, and maybe it isn't, but it is to me, because I haven't set up something like this, done it all myself in a long time. It reminds me of the days when I first got started, which probably are the days that some of you guys are at right now, where you're doing it all yourself. So I get it. I get you. That's what I wanted to do in this episode, is just really break down those results. And this whole project that we're doing is to get back in tune with what it's like to build a business from scratch, and just teach it to you guys as we put it all together. So we also reveal a little bit about the higher ticket funnel that we're building at the same time. So we give you guys an inside track of what we're doing inside of our business. So if that sounds interesting to you, well, keep on listening.
Hi, I'm Brandon Lucero, and you're about to experience the new way to thrive in business, entrepreneurship, and life by leaning into who you are, what you love, and standing up for what you want to create. Get ready, because this is where we go against the grain, say no to outdated society norms, and we say yes to change in order to create a happier, more fulfilled world. Welcome to the New Generation Entrepreneur Podcast.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode. Today, we're doing episode number 3 of our low ticket funnel. We got some data for you. We got some results coming in, and we'll probably do another one here next week or the following week as well. So just to catch you guys up to speed, if you're just tuning in this episode and you haven't listened to episode 1 or 2, that's totally fine. I'm going to give you guys a quick little update. And I'm just trying to think of where to start, because there's a lot of little data that came in. So I think what we're going to do is we'll start from the beginning. Let's catch you up to speed. So for those of you who are just tuning in, I decided that we are going to set up a funnel, a low ticket funnel. And what I mean by low ticket funnel, you might hear people call it a SLO or SLO or self-liquidating offer. And essentially what it is a low ticket offer, could be anywhere from the range of like $3 or $7 up to like 47 or 97 or whatever it is, but a lower ticket offer. And then when people come in that, it's supposed to be like a no-brainer, low ticket, like easy decision sort of thing. And then from there, there's going to be a series of upsells that go along with it. So someone will buy for $17, and this is like add to purchase. So it'd be like add to buy this thing. And then once you buy, you'll have like 2 or 3 different upsells. So we've done this with some of my one-on-one clients, and we've had, and a lot of people that I know and are friends with and mastermind with all have these as well. And the reason why I wanted to try it was because ad cost is getting really high and more expensive. But not only that, like 50% of the company in our revenue, in our business comes from from our customers. And that's by selling them or into different products or newer products, or upgrading them to different things, or getting them to renew in programs and stuff like that. And so it is always so much easier to sell to a customer than it is a brand new person. And so every time we launch or do a funnel, we're always getting like brand new people coming into the funnel, and we're having to sell to these cold people. And so it feels like, or the idea is that it'd be so much easier to have a pool full of brand new customer, or it would be so much easier to sell to, let me rephrase that. It'd be so much easier to sell our higher ticket stuff if we had a database of customers versus new leads. And so the idea is, if someone comes in, we start with a $17 offer. If someone came in on a $17 offer, and then we had a series of upsells, and order bumps. So when they ordered their $17 offer, they have the option to add in a 30-minute one-on-one call with me for $97. And then they get offered our webinar and offer program, which is how to create no-brainer offers and a seven-figure webinar, normally $1,000 for $497. And then they have a sales and objection training for $97. So those are the series of upsells. And the idea is I could get leads to a webinar for $15 all day long if I wanted to, or even $20. However, what if I can get customers? And what if it costs me, I don't know, let's say $25 to get a customer, but it cost me $17 to get that, or I made $17. So I spend 25. So yeah, let me rephrase. I could get a lead for $15, and that's someone who registered for something for free. Or I could pay $25, just saying, I could pay $25 and they buy something for 17, which means it really only cost me $8. So now I could pay for a lead that's $15 or $20, or I could acquire a customer and it only cost me $8. And that customer now knows me, likes me, trusts me, experiences our products, knows it's good. And now they're much more likely to move into something else or attend a launch. And they're not really a free lead anymore. They're actually a customer. That was kind of the idea behind of what we're doing. But then when you add in upsells and all these other things, the average checkout isn't $17. It could be like $100. And then if I spend 25 or 50 or even 90 to acquire a customer, but I'm making 100, then I'm actually profiting money, right? So then I take all these low ticket customers and I can move them into webinars or launches. And so I'm basically getting paid in order to bring in people to our launches and sales funnels and things like that. So that's sort of the idea here. And so what I started with was figuring out what is the problem that people want. And I created a product for $17 and we created a funnel around it. So it goes from ad, and I have a couple ads running, to a sales page. And then from the sales page, it goes to a checkout page. And from the checkout page, they have an order bump to buy. They have a product. They can buy the product for 17 and then add on an order bump for 97 to chat with me, have a one-on-one call with me. And then they get a series of those upsells. So that's kind of the process of what we're doing. Now, if you haven't listened to episode 1 or 2, I would go back and listen, because we go into a little bit more detail of what we did, how we came up with it, all of that good stuff. But we ran the product. And I do want to mention one thing, which is like the offer for $17, I actually don't have it created. Like, we're selling it, I just don't have it created yet. And I think a lot of times people will create the product and they're like, let me just create this product, spend all this time creating the product. And then they go to try to sell it and they're like, people don't want it, or this isn't really what people expected or wanted, or I'm having a hard time selling it, or whatever it may be. And then you spend all this time creating something that people don't want. So I didn't want to do that. I think I had a pretty good idea of what people are going to want and what their problem is and how I can fix it. But I didn't create the product. And so I've actually been selling it for 3 days now and I don't have it made. So, some people might look at that and go like, well, what are you doing? How are you overcoming that? Aren't people complaining that they paid for this thing and they didn't get it? Well, first of all, yeah, some of them might be mad, but then I just refund the $17 if they really throw a big deal about it, like a hissy fit. But number 2, what we did, and I told the team, and I updated our customer support team, and I just said, like, look, as soon as someone buys the $17 offer, let them know we're having some technical difficulties. We're adding some things in, and everything should be up and ready by Friday. So I'm going to create the products. It should be done by Friday now, because it is selling. So we have sales. I'm going to give you that data here in a second. So it is selling. And then I said, and then just telling you, apologize for the inconvenience. And as just like a thank you for their patience, like, give them this product for free. So I just gave them like a smaller other product that we had. And I just said, give that to them for free, that they can start going through now. So now the experience for someone buying a $17 offer is they're going to be getting the $17 offer within a couple of days, but now they got a free product out of it as well. So they're happy, right? So that's like lesson number 1 that I think is really important, especially for new people to understand, is sometimes you just need to validate it and sell it and do that before the thing is even created. Like, sometimes that's just the way that it needs to go. And we don't have to create these big, huge products or even small products without it being sold. Sometimes it's better just to figure out the messaging and the marketing and what the product is like, because if this didn't sell, I would probably try a couple of things to change it around. But if it didn't sell, then it was like, I'm probably going to move on to a different product. And I don't want to spend the time making the thing if it wasn't going to sell. So we're running it right now. We're running about $50 a day to warm traffic and about $100 a day to cold traffic. So about $150 a day. And I think we have a total that we're on 2.5 days, and I think we're close to around 10 sales. So I've made about $150, I think, or sorry, $170. But I've spent probably close to 300, and we've had no upsells. So no one's taken the upsells yet. So again, around 10 purchases, which comes out to $160. I spent 300. So I really lost $120 in the first 3 days, which honestly, I think is pretty good. Like, I'm pretty happy with that. Because I got 10 leads. Like, if I just look at my cost, how much money did I lose? Let's just call it $150. And I lost $150, but I got 10 customers, which means I got 10 leads. And these are people now that are on my list that I can contact, that are now customers. They're better than leads. They're customers. And it cost me $15. It cost me $15 to acquire that customer. That's what it cost me. Okay. So when we went into our launch and we do these things, we'll pay $25 a lead for a free lead. But right now, it's costing me $15 to acquire a customer, which is way better than a free lead. So right now, without changing anything, if everything stayed exactly the same, I'm acquiring new people on my list for $15 each, but they're customers. Like, that is huge. Now, here's the thing. If I get one more sale tomorrow and that person takes our upsell, our $497 upsell that for $500, I'm making money, right? So now I'm making money and bringing people into my system. But here's the thing. It's going to require a little bit of a mindset shift, a little bit of a change in the way you think, because you can't keep thinking about it as I'm losing money. It's like, this is sort of what a loss leader would be. But at the same time, what I'm looking at is like the $17 offer seems to be crushing it and doing very well. What doesn't seem to be doing very well is our order bump or upsells, which means out of 10 purchases, we have not had a single person take one of the upsells, which I'm thinking might be a little bit too big of a jump. And what I mean by that is that I went from $17 offer to $97 implementation call on the order bump to a $497 product that's normally $1,000. I think that might be too big of a jump to go from 17 to 97 to 497. So what I'm thinking of doing is changing our upsell process, because I'm looking at the data and I'll let some more people come through. I probably want to get close to 25 to 50 purchases of the $17 offer before making any like decisions on that, because I need enough data coming in to really make a decision. Because if 2 people buy tomorrow, one of the upsells, and we're at a 20% upsell take, which is okay with me. Like, I think that's pretty good. So there's a little bit, the data is too small to really make any final decisions, but that is what I want to do. I want to give it some time, but I do think what we're seeing is that the first upsell should probably be something closer to 47 to 97. And I think 497 is a little bit too high. And then what we'll do is make our second upsell the 497. So we'll go $17 offer to maybe a $47 or $97 offer to a $497 offer to a $97 offer. Like, we'll have a couple, like 3 upsells, I think is probably what we're going to have to do. But that's what the data is showing me. And again, one of the things you guys have to keep in mind is you need data to come in to give you that perspective on what's working and what's not. But you also need enough data to come in where 1 or 2 sales isn't going to make enough of a difference. And what I mean by that is, if I only have 10 purchases on the $17 offer and 1 person tomorrow buys, that's almost a 9% upsell take. And then if 1 more person buys, and that's almost a 20%. So like 2 purchases can swing the percentages so much that I need to give it more data. I need a bigger sample pool or pool of sample size. I need a bigger sample size to really understand the numbers a little bit better. But the other thing you guys hopefully are realizing is that everything in this business is about the numbers. What do the numbers tell you? What does the data tell you? Let's make decisions based off of that. So right now we're sitting pretty good. Again, we've spent roughly $300. We made maybe 10 sales. It's costing me about $15 out of pocket to acquire a customer, which I honestly am pretty happy with. But I actually, seeing those numbers, I think we can either get it to break even or we can actually profit. And if we can profit off this, that would be amazing, because what I can do is now email all of these customers and I can start to invite them to trainings and launches and funnels where we sell our higher ticket products. And if I'm getting paid like I'm making money off of them. Like it cost me $20 to acquire a customer, but they're paying me 40. I'm making $20 a lead. And then I move into higher ticket stuff. This is where scalability can come in, because the thing is yeah, I might be seeing $15 sales right now, meaning it's costing me $15 to make the sale. When I start to scale and move to like $1,000 a day instead of $150 a day, that $15 cost to get that customer is going to go up. But if I'm profiting, meaning it's costing me negative $20, like I'm making $20 to acquire the customer, when I start to scale, I have a bigger buffer zone, meaning that instead of making 20, I might make 5 instead of, the other way around. So that's what I'm sort of looking at, is like, how can we maximize the money we're making on the funnel per a customer? Like, how can I make money to acquire a customer? That's what I would love to be. And if we can get it there, that's where the scaling starts to come in. So again, just to reiterate, instead of it costing me $15 to acquire a customer, I want it to pay me $15 to acquire a customer, meaning it costs me $25 to get the customer, but I'm on average making $40 each time. Now I can start to scale. Now I can go from 150 to like 200 to 500 to $1,000 a day. And now I'm getting customers all day long. Boom, 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 boom. But the way it sits right now, we're getting like 3 to 4 sales a day, like right off the bat, $17, 3 to 4 sales a day, something along those lines is kind of what we're saying. So that's the update. I'll give you guys another update soon. I think next week, what we might do is just give this series a little bit of a break, because I want some more data coming in, and I want to update you guys on the data and the changes that we're making. But again, I also want to do this little series to show you behind the scenes of like what we're doing in real time to make money. Now, as a reminder, I'm doing this myself. I'm not using my team, although I accidentally did. So I'll have to come clean on that. I asked my team to set up the products inside of Go High Level. Like, here's all the information. Here's the training. Can you just set it up so I had something to sell and a log so people can log in? My team actually ended up making the upsell pages also and putting that together for me. So I think time-wise, I'm probably, 20 to 30 hours of total work time into this low ticket funnel. I've been working on the weekends and stuff. I would say 90% of it myself, but my team did help me with a little bit part of it. But I would say like this whole thing, you can probably have up and running within a week. If you're working 40 hours a week, you could have this up in a week if you were dedicated. And that's what I would have done. Like when I was back in the days working at my in-laws house and in the exit bedroom trying to figure out my business, I could have had this probably up in like a week at the most. So any of you can do this, and it's really simple. Just find a problem. Low ticket funnel is just an ad straight to a sales page and then order bump process, and that's it. So I'm really excited to see where this goes. We also decided that we're going to have a weekly webinar running at the same time that sells our higher ticket products. And so we have that running at the same time while this is running. And the idea is anyone who comes to the low ticket stuff will eventually move into our weekly webinar and then get them to book calls with us for the higher ticket stuff. So I'll keep you guys in the loop with how it goes. My goal is this process of selling our high ticket and the low ticket. I would love to get to about 100,000 a month is what I would love to see this get to. It's going to take a little bit of time to get to that, I think, but we can do it. We can get there. Especially when we start to master our weekly webinar, and we're doing that too. So at the same time, the reason why I did this low ticket funnel is on my own is because my team is actually focusing on our higher ticket stuff right now. So the weekly webinar is getting all that set up. And we're actually doing very well with that. Like it's converting really well. Like webinar to book a call is doing very well. We're closing a lot of the calls on our higher ticket stuff. We're not spending a ton of money. So the numbers themselves are a little bit lower than normal for us. And I think last week our high ticket funnel did maybe 15 grand, which may sound like a lot, especially if you're just like starting out. For us, it's okay. Like it's not a lot. It's not, like, it's fine. I don't want to sound like, I don't know. I don't want to sound like I have my nose up in the air or whatever, but like 15 grand a week what is that? 30, it did maybe 10 to 15 grand a week. So we're doing 40 to 60,000 a month with it. if those numbers hold true. Like it was just a good week last week. So the week before, I think we're close to maybe 5,000 to 6,000. So we're doing okay with it. But again, I would like to see the high ticket funnel at 100K a month at least. And I do think when we get the low ticket funnel really banging, like it's doing really good, and then we move all of those low ticket people into the webinar, like the weekly webinar we have going on, combined with what we're already doing, I think we could get to that 100K mark pretty easily. And when I say these numbers, these are not cash collected. This is like sales. So for example, if someone buys 1 week, a 12-month payment plan at $297, cash in the door is only $297, but I'm going to count it as like a $3,600 sale. So when I say 15 grand is what we did last week, that isn't cash collected. That might be only 7,000 of cash collected, but in sales, like money that's going to be coming in, it's like 15 grand a week. So just to be totally fair and transparent with those numbers. So next week, the next episode, when we give you guys another update, we'll definitely have more numbers for you. I'll give you an update on the plan of what we did and what we plan on doing in the future to get all of this funnel working. And what my goal is on this podcast is I want to show you guys how are we structuring our stuff to get to $100,000 a month on a brand new product that we've never sold before. What does these funnels look like? What does all that stuff look like? And I hope you guys are enjoying it. So there's the update. Thank you guys for paying attention to this episode. Next week, we might skip the updated episode and just give you a brand new, fresh one, and then come back the week after that. But we'll see. We'll see how much data we have. And I'm really looking forward to it. This is a lot of fun for me. So hopefully you guys are enjoying it. And if you love these episodes, let me know by leaving me a review on iTunes. I appreciate it. And I'll talk to you guys soon.
Hey guys, thank you so much for checking out another episode of the New Generation Entrepreneur Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, go below, hit the subscribe button, and make sure you click on that bell icon and get notified every time we drop a new episode. Now, if you're looking for the show notes, we have them linked underneath this video, as well as our social media handles and some links to free training and offers that we drop from time to time to help you guys even further. So go check those out if you're interested. And thank you so much for tuning in to the New Generation Entrepreneur Podcast.